it's Jen, and today I want to talk to you about grace at your wedding. I know, grace. There's a lot of conversation about this, and I got an email last night from a colleague, hey Gayla, this is a shout out to you, and it reminded me to have a conversation again about the kinds of the ideas around grace. And a lot of people these days, when they get married, they have no religious affiliation, and so they feel that it's important to just kind of forego any kind of grace, which I get. There's lots of people that have kind of just, especially in Canada, we're like, everybody's awesome, everybody's the same, no religion is more important than the other, and so we're just not going to have grace across the board. Or you're just like, absolutely, we don't have any religion, so we are not going to do that. But I always encourage my couples to include it, and include something in some way, because there's more than just, it's not just about religious affiliation or praying to God or a God or Mother Earth or the universe or whatever. There's more to it than that. And here's the thing. Well, there's a couple of reasons. Excuse me. You've spent all of this entire day doing ceremonial things. So you had a ceremony where you said vows that meant something to each other, that everybody that you invited to participate with you witnessed, and they agreed to stand by you and support you in your marriage. That's a ceremonial thing, whether it was religious or non-religious or civil or humanist or whatever. If you were out in your bare feet doing a bohemian circle, you invited people to participate in a ceremonial event. So that has significance. In addition, you have now come together for the first time to have your very first meal together as a married couple. And in England, and I attribute Jane, shout out to Jane Day-Hinch today, in England they call it the wedding breakfast, because it's the first meal that you have together, whether it's in the evening or it doesn't matter. It's the wedding breakfast. And so, again, it's another ceremonial moment. You're partaking in your very first meal together as a couple, a married couple, which is very exciting. So there's a few things around this. You can choose to, besides going ahead and deciding what you're going to say or do, there's nothing ever wrong with being grateful for the food you're about to receive. Physically, excuse me, physically, we need to make our bodies ready for a meal. Anybody who knows anything about physiology knows that you can't go for a run and come in, run a marathon and sit down and have a meal. It's the same thing. You've been going all day, you've been standing. It's okay to make your body ready to receive a meal, ready for digestion, ready for conversation, a slower pace. And so there, just to signal everybody together as a group, hey, we're about to participate in a meal together. Let's, you can be grateful for it. You don't even have to be grateful for it if you just don't think that being grateful in your life is important. Then just do perhaps something like, a Scottish blessing or an Irish blessing or even a poem, or have somebody get up and kind of, this is, make a first toast. We hope you enjoy your meal. We're so excited that you're here. Please enjoy your meal. Otherwise, if you don't, there's like this kind of like, down the hatch kind of feeling. And of all the days, this is like one of the most elegant days you'll ever have in your life. And if you're going to do this and go to all this trouble, it's certainly acceptable and appropriate to be elegant and to do things in an appropriate way. For example, I don't know about you, but at our house, well, maybe not with the kids all the time, but when you're at a meal with friends, we sit down and you wait till everyone is served, and then you begin your meal together. It's the same kind of etiquette that goes along. Saying grace or saying a blessing or preparing people for a meal in advance of partaking together as a group is appropriate. So it's certainly acceptable, whether you say grace or whether you, say a blessing or even a toast to initiate the beginning of the meal. It's always appropriate. Secondly, it signals the kitchen, which sounds kind of funny, but practically speaking, when you are working a wedding behind the scenes, you probably don't realize what's going on, but the kitchen is waiting for a cue. What is the cue to bring the bread out or place a salad down or begin pouring drinks or whatever it might be? They need a signal. And so in advance when I work with my couples and I work with the kitchen, I always, what is the signal? They always need to know that. So otherwise, it's sort of like everyone's like waiting, and like, Grace, do we begin? Like, or, hey, down the hatch, you rub-a-dub-dub, thanks for the grub. Like, you just kind of don't know. Is it appropriate? Do we begin? So I always recommend that you do something that signifies, yes, please enjoy this meal that we've paid for, hundreds of dollars per plate or whatever it is. It signals the kitchen when they can start placing meals, and it signals to the people around you that we may all begin now. So there are levels of layers that are important to kind of participate in when you're doing a whole big event when it comes to serving your guests and having a meal for your very first meal together. So I just wanted to encourage you, whether you are religious or non-religious or multi-religious and you don't want to offend anybody or not offend anybody, it is never wrong to be elegant and appropriate and appreciate and be grateful for the food that you're about to eat and your very first meal together as a couple. So I highly recommend you do something along those lines, whether it's a blessing. It could just be something traditional, from your heritage or your background, Scottish, Irish, I don't even know. So do something that signifies that it's an appropriate time that we all participate together in this very special meal. So that's all I wanted to pop on to today, because I know it's coming up a lot with the couples I'm planning with as well, and other planners as well. I know Gayla reached out and she was like, hey, how do you, I think it's appropriate. I think it's completely appropriate. So times may be changing for sure, but it's never wrong to be grateful and to bring a level of elegance to an event that you've worked really hard and planned really hard for many, many months. So to grace or not to grace, whatever you call it, do something that shows your gratitude for the meal you're about to participate in and the gratefulness for all your friends that are there. Ready your body to intake this food and to digest for the next hour and a half, however long your meal is going to be, and signal the kitchen so they can get your meal served on time, hot and ready. So that's my tip for the day. Go and be on your way, and may grace be with you. All right, check in soon. Ciao for now.